Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Dear Love Podcast. You can catch us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Listen Notes, Google Music, Podbean, all that good stuff. You already know how this go. Let's get right into it. Couple funny things. I remember on a past podcast, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I remember talking about how, when you get in the shower, you just feel like you can sing whatever. You on America's Got Talent or something. Now times have changed. I feel like we more open to just go into public and do it now. We don't care who listening. We don't care who's around. We just gonna start singing. I've been doing that lately too, just thinking about great songs. I mean, Chris Brown album dropped, fire album by the way, and I just was like singing different songs in public. It's like you don't even really care what people say or how people feel about you singing. Now is the time more than ever to just be open with yourself and open to whatever you into. Lil Nas X came out and said he was gay. Cool. I just wish people wouldn't make such a big deal about it. Okay, he's gay. Some people are straight. Some people are bi. You are what you are, and I just feel like it was cool for him to come out, because he was tired of hiding it, basically is what he said. But I just wish people wouldn't not only judge, but like we take too much time worrying about what you're doing with your time. So now all my time is being invested into your time. Like whatever you decide to do is for you. I can't really make decisions for nobody else. So if I was to like really sit back and take all of that time and all of that energy and focus on what the next person doing, how could I ever get anything accomplished? And a lot of folks do that. A lot of people will sit back and they sit at home and really like scratch the wall because what somebody else is doing. I'm not gonna say I can care less about what somebody doing, but my energy got to go into what I'm trying to do. Because if you make it, that don't mean I make it. It takes nothing to hate. I feel like it takes a lot of energy and a lot of respect, though, to congratulate and to commend people who make it to that higher level. Even if you don't, or even if you can teach someone else. I feel like that's the key to life, teaching others and showing others, because hating and sitting back and wondering what somebody doing in a negative light is just, to me, pathetic. People I hear about that just worry about what somebody else doing, make up something about somebody, whatever. All of that stuff to me is pathetic, man. When we could just spend that energy doing something positive, doing something that we love to do. Tell somebody about yourself. Tell somebody you like to do pottery, or tell somebody you like to read novels or something. Like, nothing is weird anymore. And that's my point. Like, nothing is weird. Like, you can do whatever you want in this world. Somebody will love it. Somebody will like it. It's a little bit of something out there for everybody. Whether it be a particular movie that you into. Me personally, I like comedies. I like drama and suspense. That seem to always be like the best ones. But that might not be for everybody. So if you're not into drama and suspense, you know not to go watch this movie. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. We need to focus on what we're doing, focus on the positives instead of the negatives, and we'd be so much better off. Dear Love, episode 68. What do you do when you work so hard at your craft and there's always someone there to shut you down? The regular answer would be, well, get away from those people, right? Don't pay attention to those folks. But it's not that simple. You have to factor in the community. It feels like the community is against you. You try to do so well for your city. I'm from Cleveland, and I think about times when rapping was real big for our city. Nobody really supported and helped each other. You had groups that helped each other. But the problem was everybody wanted to put their mans on. Instead of everybody getting together and putting on for the city, you look at Atlanta and all these other places who say, we're putting on for our city. We don't do that. It's like, hey, I'm going to make it. I'm good. And you got to go for yours. We don't never work as a team. Had nothing, though. I mean, not only music. I'm just thinking of the overall, how all this stuff worked. I remember it was at one point, the radio station that said, all right, now, from now on, we playing, I think it was like an hour long. An hour of all the new hot artists coming out. You know, just send us your music and blase blase skit. It's like, okay, so then you send them your music, and then what? Like, people don't usually have the steps to being successful, the next step to getting somewhere. You gotta have like goals in place. Cause yeah, you can have your stuff on the radio, but then what's the next step after that? What do I do after that? Do I just go lay back in my bed and say, oh, it's over? No, we gotta grind and we gotta push. And I think we get so used to watching what we see on TV, all the different TV shows and how these rappers making it and stuff, and we forget the grinding part. And we forget that people are human beings and they had to start somewhere too. They ain't just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm on TV and I'm famous. We got to grind, but our city don't seem to give that feel anymore. That's when the music was popping here. Like I said, a couple people put on, but most of them was Hollywood. But now we do so much trying to be somebody else. Like, it's ridiculous. Instead of being ourselves, putting out the content that you love and that makes you an individual, we try to be someone else. Now, don't get me wrong. Being someone else don't mean like doing the same thing that they doing. Because, I mean, rapping is rapping. Music is music. Videos is videos. But when you, like, change up your whole rap style to fit somebody else's, or even in music, or videos, now you switch up your videos to try to be somebody else because what's in is what's in. Believe it or not, it's always the out crowd that's the real in crowd. You know about those people that you don't hear about? The ones that's in the cut getting rich? The ones that's in the cut counting checks? Not always in the limelight? That's because they doing their own thing to the side. They ain't worried about what you think. They ain't worried about what I think. They doing their own thing. And that's what we got to get back to. Doing our own thing and loving what we do. Don't second guess you. Because that's what happens. We second guess what we're doing. Man, I don't think this is going to work out. I'm going to stop doing it. No, keep pushing, because if it's yours, you need to own it. Literally, own it. It's your business. Now get on it and make it happen. You can't make nothing happen sitting at home and just wishing that something going to come fall on your lap. If you don't get out and grind, you're going to forever work for somebody. I know you don't want to do that. It was a quote, let me pull it up, that I had read today, and it was like real inspiring. It said, people know your worth. They just hope that you don't. And that's real, man. People hope you don't know what's going on so they could misuse you. But that's why it's important to have your own stuff. Don't worry about nobody else. Don't worry about no haters and none of that. Because I'm quick to say, hey, show me how it's supposed to be done, and then I do it. A person who doing nothing always got something to say. Or they got the most intellect for whatever you talk. Like, they know everything. But they're not putting it, they not like putting it together for themselves though. They just ready to critique yours. Because if you didn't know me, you couldn't critique me that way. You got to accept stuff for what it is in life. The last movie that you went to see, did you like it? Now, of course, after watching that movie, you can tell me a million different ways of how you would have did it if you didn't like it, right? But the fact is, somebody came up with that idea, and all you doing is trying to put your 2 cents to it. That's the difference. But that person also put their blood, sweat, and tears into that. They had to come up with a budget for that movie. They had to get the perfect actors, the perfect shots. Who knows how many, who wrote all of the scripts and everything, and the locations. All that stuff matters. And they put all that stuff together, and it probably took them years to do it. And then somebody like you come along and say, oh, well, yeah, that's cool, but if you don't like it, just don't like it. Say that was cool and keep it moving. But then when you start down and show, this is terrible, this is trash. I mean, and I'm kind of hypocritical because I used to do these things too. Because I mean, some stuff really is just flat out terrible. I'm not going to say everything is good. You know, it is stuff that's actually terrible out here. But for the stuff that really is creative and it just ain't your speed, just say that. You know how many CDs I heard? I said, yeah, it's cool. It just ain't my style. Or a movie that I heard was great. Yeah, it's cool. It just ain't my cup of tea. Everybody loved Precious when it came out. Precious was cool to me. To some people, it was a life changer. Some people love that movie. But for me, like I said, it was just cool. You look at movies like Jordan Peele's Us. A lot of people didn't really think highly of it. I thought it was a dope creative movie and a way to spin a lot of things that was going on. Even the movie Ma, I thought was excellent. Some people ain't really care for it. So everybody got their own cup of tea. You know, you just gotta find out what it is and like it. And then when you create your own cup of tea, you'll understand how it feels. Because you won't want people talking down on what you got going on, right? Gotta stay true. Gotta help each other. Gotta keep pushing. That's how you put the city on. Having each other's back, making sure everybody eat. That's how you become a boss. Ain't no way around it. Dear love, T. Shaw, I'm out of here.